Our last one, we're going to be concentrating again on law enforcement watercraft. With me now, I have two members of the Long Beach Police Department. I have Police Chief Jim Couts with me and Lieutenant Bob Slokowski. Gentlemen, thank you for allowing me to meet up with you and talk about your law enforcement watercraft. Please tell me, when was the decision made and why to get some watercraft lake patrol out here in the Long Beach area?
Last summer we received a lot of complaints reference the jet skiers and wave runners going in between the swimmers and almost running some of them over. So it was obvious something had to be done. So one of the town councilmen approached me about it, and I asked him one day, I said, well, how many jet skiers do you think we have out here in an average Saturday or a Sunday afternoon? I was kind of surprised. He counted over 75 of them on one Sunday afternoon. So there is quite a few of them that go in between the Long Beach area here.
And then tell me, when was the decision finally made to want to purchase some watercraft? What were the steps your department had to make and the town council? Because there were a number of people who played a hand in that. Chief Couts, why don't you tell me about that?
Well, it's all Lieutenant Sikowski. He approached some dealers. We had heard there was a market out there, or people would donate the usage of these watercraft, for police use, and he made some phone calls, and lo and behold, we end up receiving one. We weren't even expecting it, and that's basically how it took off from that point.
And Bob, please tell me what type of watercraft you got. We will take a shot and look at it later. Please tell me what you got and from what company.
We got a 1996 Sea-Doo GTI from B&E Marine.
All right. And then I understand that your fire department is involved with this, and there were some town council people. Please tell me what is their involvement with, supporting or financial support or emotional support or what have you?
So far, everything that we have purchased, there was a huge donation from the Long Beach Civic Association for all the buoys that are marking the 200-foot mark out into the water. Everything that we've spent so far as equipment has been within our budget. We're having a little problem right now getting funding to pay overtime for the Wave Runner Patrol, so hopefully we'll get that straightened out. We're using reserve officers and regular officers to work the weekends and do the patrol.
Will the patrolling mainly be done on the weekends, or do you have some plans of maybe coming out on the weekdays to do some patrolling as well?
Well, the most part's going to be, most of our problems are on the weekends when the overabundance of all the Illinois people come out. So, but there will be times when we'll be out during the week also.
How many officers will be trained to use the Wave Runner?
We've got a total of 8 of our officers that have gone through all the training classes and everything that we need to feel safe that they would be doing a good job out here. So a total from 8 from our department.
And I understand those officers did have to go through some training themselves to be prepared for this. What type of training did the officers go through, and what type of situations do they need to be aware of, in the event something comes up, an emergency situation on the lake?
Well, most of the training had to deal with the laws that they'll be enforcing out there in between the shore and the 200-foot mark.
And you and the fire department put on a class in the month of May on a Saturday. It was open to the public. The DNR was there. The Coast Guard was there. Please tell me about that class and how well it went.
Well, the class went pretty well. The DNR was there to explain the new laws that took effect in '96. Coast Guard was there to explain some of the safety equipment that's needed on the personal watercraft and on boats. And then we just told everybody what we plan on enforcing out there and the laws that we'll be looking to enforce.
Now, the Michigan City Police Department now has a boat this summer that they will be using for patrolling. To my knowledge, last year, New Buffalo had a Wave Runner patrol that they were at least experimenting with. And let's talk about how you hope to maybe hook up with them from time to time as far as the boundaries, what you'll be patrolling, what they'll be patrolling. How can you contact each other by radio and so forth if someone should need assistance?
Okay, well, we carry a portable radio in a waterproof pouch with us. It's in our pocket of our vest. We have radio communications with the Coast Guard, the DNR, and the Coast Guard. If anybody runs into any problems or anybody needs any help, we're all out here to work together and help each other.
And with the increase in wave runners and jet skis, Is it mainly just, again, coming in too close to shore, going too fast, or maybe 2 or 3 of them racing one another, or being too daring or reckless? What seems to be, in the past, some of the problems that you and other people have pointed out?
Problems in the past have been there's a law that from the 200-foot mark to the shore, you have to go 10 miles an hour or less. That's generally where the kids go swimming and the people or regular just go swimming out in the water. And the problem's been where jet skiers just come buzzing right past them, and very dangerous to run somebody over. That's what we're mainly going to be looking for.
Chief, your thoughts on the program? What do you look for this summer as far as the patrolling?
Well, I look for us to be very active with it, very busy. And my thoughts are, it's a great thing. Like Lieutenant Sikowski said, we've had a lot of complaints, not only last year, but previous years, about not only personal watercraft, but the larger boats coming into shore and not observing the no wake or the slow speed limit from the 200-foot mark out there. And this coming into shore and the swimmers out there not heeding what they're supposed to do. Not knowing the law, I think, is basic. And I think it's going to be a great asset.
If we ever get any warm weather, I'd say. And how late into the year will you be doing the wave runner patrolling?
Probably for a weekend or two after the holiday weekend.
Of Labor Day? And then, because I know last year we had a rather warm October and there was still a lot of boat activity going on. And how many officers, just one officer at a time, or if something comes up, can 2 ride for something if they have to go out for something? Or
We've received a donation of a 91 Yamaha wave runner that we'll also be using on patrol on the busy weekends, like the 4th of July weekend. I think that's like a 4 or 5 day weekend. So we look to be real busy that weekend, so we'll probably have the 2 of us out that weekend.
And what type of citations are you going to be issuing to the people? You don't have to tell me the fees, but there's probably different, regulations and so forth, fines that the people are going to be getting. Chief, why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, basically, we're issuing state citations. There's a number of them we can issue for driving while intoxicated. It's going to be one we're going to be looking for. It'd be the same charge as if you were in an automobile. I think that's one of the things out here we really have to look at. It's alcohol-related accidents or alcohol boating. And that's one of the major ones we're going to be looking for. And the other ones, we're just going to make sure that it's a safe summer. In other words, observe the coming in, that they're not reckless out there, that they're of age to drive these things. There is an age limit on them. And if that they're educated in what the laws really are.
I understand there are some other law enforcement personnel here today that I'm going to be talking to a little bit. Bob, tell me a little bit about who we have with you today that are going to be out testing some wave runners.
I'm going to be Officer Jim Jackson from the County Sheriff's Department. They've also received a donated Kawasaki wave runner to use for patrol this year.
I'll be talking with Jim Jackson, I assume, then, in just a moment.